Ladies and gentlemen, Antonio and Akita Taylor present the Kingdom Advancers Show with your host, Akita Taylor.
Hello and welcome to the Kingdom Advancers Show. I'm your host, Akita Taylor, and I am super excited. I want to share with you my new book. It's called The Kingdom Advancers Guide to Success. So that's what we're going to be talking about on today. We're going to be talking about The Kingdom Advancers Guide to Success. And what this book is about is just to encourage, to motivate, to inspire every individual to step out in those areas that they've been pondering on, that they've been praying about, that they've been thinking about, but afraid to take that step, afraid to take that leap of faith and just really trust God to really do what He has called you to do. So that's what we're going to do on today. We're going to encourage you, we're going to motivate you, and we're going to get ready to step out there and walk this kingdom walk. So let's go ahead and just get into the book. Again, it's called The Kingdom Advancers Guide to Success. And I'm actually going to just talk about one of the chapters, which is Create, which is the third chapter of the book. Are you ready to create? That's the first question that you need to ask yourself. Am I ready to do what God has placed on the inside of me to do? And you may be asking, do what? Well, what is it that you're passionate about? What is it that you love doing? If it was one thing that you can do all day long, every day, and that's what you would do, that's what you need to be doing. That's what you need to be creating. That's what you need to be working towards. That's your destiny. That's your purpose. That is why God has called you to be here. So that's about create. Create means to bring something into existence. There's so many times that we like to compare what we have to others. And God said, I've made everybody different. There are no two fingerprints alike in the earth. There's no two individuals alike in the earth. God made you different for a purpose because He put something special on the inside of you that no one else has. And you have to know that you're precious in the eyesight of God, and what He put on the inside of you, He wants you to share it with the world. You have to realize that you are unique and your gift is like no one else in the world. There may be many people that do the same things that you do, but there's always going to be a difference to what you bring to the table. And you have to know that. And you have to be confident in that, have confidence in that. That's not being arrogant. That's just knowing who you are in God. And so many times people may mistake confidence from arrogance, but there's a big difference. There's nothing wrong with being confident in the God that He's placed on the inside of you, and you have to know that, and you have to stand on that. God made you authentic, and you have your own unique thumbprint in the earth. We talked about that just a moment ago. Psalms 139:14 reads, I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul knows very well. The first thing we need to do is, in fully walking in our creativity, is to embrace how God made us and begin to love it if we do not love it already. You have to love yourself. You have to love how God created you, and stop criticizing yourself. Stop comparing yourself to others. Stop wanting to change what God created Himself. When He took the time to create you, He knew exactly how He wanted you to look. He knew everything about you, how He wanted to fashion you. But sometimes we pick ourselves apart and we want to change what God had in mind. Well, He's God. He doesn't make any mistakes. So He didn't make a mistake when He made you the way that He made you. And everything that He placed on the inside of you, He didn't make a mistake with that. So begin to embrace that. Begin to love that. Begin to be your unique self. And others will love that as well. People love genuine people. You know when someone's not being themselves. You know when someone's not being authentic. But when you can find a real person that you can really relate to, and they can be exactly who God created them to be, not trying to be anybody else, you can really relate to them. You can really open up to them. And that's what God wants you to do. Be yourself. You have to love yourselves. Love the gifts that God has given you in order to be able to share those things and yourself with the rest of the world. God is ready for you to share with the world the wonderful gifts that He has placed on the inside of you. So let's get ready to create. And you may be saying, create what? What is that thing that you've been thinking about doing? Have you ever had an inspired idea or some, maybe even a thought, and it came to your mind and you said, wow, that would be awesome if I could do that. I could see myself doing that. That would be wonderful if I could make that happen. But you never get up the courage to step out on faith and just do it or just pursue it. That's what God is pulling on you on today to do. He's saying it's time to create. He's saying it's time to stop dismissing those things that I placed on the inside of you. It's not just a thought. So many times we think, okay, this is just a thought, or this is just too big to actually happen in my life. It's easy for us to see it happening in somebody on TV or our neighbor or somebody else. You can see somebody else walking in that place. But when God placed it on the inside of you, and when God called you forth and said, okay, I'm giving you this inspired idea because I want to change your life. And this thing, if you will walk in it, if you will embrace it, if you will not be fearful of the real you, you're going to see your life like you've never seen it before. And that's what God is saying on today. He's saying, okay, it's time to just do it. You've thought about it long enough. You've prayed about it long enough. You've imagined it. You daydreamed it. God is saying you don't have to do that anymore. Now is the set timing for you to walk into your destiny. Be who I've called you to be. That's who I'm talking to on today. I'm talking to the real you. Not the person that you've been covering up. I'm talking to the real you. The person who God created you to be. That person that's been dying to get out. That's who I'm talking to. He's saying, or she's saying, let me out. Let me be who God has created me to be. That's who I'm talking to on today. Deuteronomy 8:18 says that he has given us the power to get wealth. If you have power, you have the ability to make things happen. That's what the word says. He said, I've given you the power to make things happen. So many times we feel like, okay, we don't have enough to make something happen. And yes, God will send help, and there's some people that you may have to connect with to make some things happen. But he said, don't underestimate the power that I placed on the inside of you, because you have everything that you need to be successful. You have everything that you need to be happy. You have everything that you need to possess everything that I've placed in this kingdom for you to possess. You have to ask yourself personal questions. As, what is it that I really love to do? What is that thing that I've been longing to do? That's your destiny. That's what you're supposed to be creating. That's the area that you're supposed to be walking in. And I actually list a few examples in the book of how we may be missing our creativity. Sometimes we're already walking in a specific area, or we know that a certain gifting is on the inside of us, but we don't even realize that that's the thing. That's my thing. That's my niche. That's the thing that's going to actually change my life. But sometimes we take it so lightly. I'll take, for instance, songwriters. There are many, many great songwriters out there, and you may be a person that God gives you lyrics. They just come to you at the drop of a dime. You could be in the car, you could be in the shower, you could just be doing something around the house, and you're just getting these words. And these words are actually songs. But maybe you're not a singer. But because you're not a singer, you don't embrace that gifting of writing songs. Do you know how many wealthy people make their money just off of writing songs? Songwriters get royalty payments. So if God called you to be a songwriter, embrace that. If God called you to be an author, if he told you to write a book, embrace that. Don't just take it like it. They're not just mere words that are coming to you. If you're always getting some type of inspirational word, if you're always getting some type of motivation and you just love to write, then by chance you are a writer. You are an author, and God is saying, put it down on paper. Go ahead, step out there, create that book. Maybe you are one that maybe speaks a lot at church or different events, and you're a minister of the gospel, but you limit that to just a minister of the gospel. And I'm not demeaning a minister of the gospel. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is God is saying don't put your gift just in the four walls of the church. So he may have called you to be a minister of the gospel, but he's also called you to be a motivational speaker. He may have also called you to be a life coach, but you've limited that and boxed it in to a fivefold gifting, and you feel like that's the only area that you can operate in. And God is saying you're missing so much more that I've placed on the inside of you. It's not just for the saved, but I've called you for the entire world. Don't miss that. Maybe you love taking care of children. There's someone that loves to take care of children, very good at it. You've limited your gifts to just, I love to babysit. When really, God may have called you to open your own child care business. But we don't like to think like that. We'll see the next person with a child care center, and we may say, wow, if I had that, I would do it this way, or you may see some things that could be done better. But you never step out there and start your own business. You just limit it to, I love to take care of children, or I like kids, or I like to see kids grow. God is saying, don't limit me. Those are just some little examples that I wanted to show you, share with you how we could be missing our creativity that's right in front of us. And a lot of times we're already doing it. We're already doing it. We're just not getting paid for it. And the reason we're not getting paid for it because we have not taken it to the next dimension that we would get paid for it. But God has said, no, what I placed on the inside of you is supposed to bring you income. It's supposed to bring you wealth. It's not just to be something for you to do. It's not just a hobby. I'm telling y'all, we take the very thing that God has created. We have to realize when God created everybody, there was a purpose. There was a purpose for everybody that he created. And we have to seek God and say, God, what is my purpose for being here? What is my reason for being here? We don't want to miss that. We don't want to go through life and miss our purpose for being here. Let's look at Mark 4, verses 3 through 8. It says, listen, behold, a sower went out to sow. And it happened as he sowed that some seed fell by the wayside, and the birds of the air came and devoured it. Some fell on stony ground where it did not have much earth, and immediately it sprang up because it had no depth of earth. But when the sun was up, it was scorched, and because it had no root, it withered away. And some seed fell among thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked it, and it yielded no crop. But other seed fell on good ground and yielded a crop that sprang up, increased and produced, some 30-fold, some 60, and some 100. This is a power lesson on wasted seed or seeds falling by the wayside. We have to check out our soil and make sure that it's good. We want to make sure that anything planted on the inside of us yields an increase. I don't know about you, but I don't want the Lord to look at me and say, I will plant this within her, but she is not good soil and will not yield an increase. Wow, that's very hurtful to be even to think that God may be skeptical about planting something on the inside of us because he feels that we're not going to do anything with it. But God is telling you on today, I've already planted it. Now it's time for you to make your move and do something with what I've called you to do. He said, I want my increase on the seed that I planted in you. Anything that God does, he wants an increase. He doesn't just give us gifts to stay dormant, but he wants to show himself strong in the earth. And he shows himself strong in the earth through his children. So he's saying on today, don't be afraid to be who I've called you to be. Don't be afraid of what naysayers or destiny killers may be trying to block you or stop you. People that are not looking to go in. you have to be careful and not surround yourself with people that are not trying to make any moves, people that are not trying to follow the path that God's laid out for their life, people that are not really looking for anything. Make sure that you're not surrounding yourself with people like that, because you'll find yourself in the same state that they are. So surround yourself with people that have a purpose, people that have a passion, people that have a love for God, people that wants to see you advance the kingdom. You have to be with like-minded people and people that actually want to see you grow and do the things of God. So don't be afraid to step out there and create. I want to talk a little bit about the next chapter, and it's called Faith or Fear. And it says faith and fear are not friends at all. They don't get along at all, and as a matter of fact, they can't stand to be in the same room together. So you are never going to see them dwelling together. You have to choose which side you're going to stand with while on the road to success, faith or fear. Let's look at the meaning of the two. In Hebrews 11:1 tells us that now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Fear is the belief that something or someone is likely to be dangerous, threatening, or cause pain. The Bible tells us in 2 Timothy 1:7 that He has not given us the spirit of fear, but that He's given us power, love, and a sound mind. I believe that the choice is easy on today. If there's anything that God has not given to us, I don't want it in my life. And God is saying, I didn't give you the spirit of fear. He said, all I want you to do is have faith. Have faith. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Can you believe that I'm getting ready to do it in your life, even if you don't see it? Can you just step out on faith because you know that I told you to do it? The only thing that you have is that you heard my voice. Is that enough to get you on your road to destiny? God said, you don't have to receive fear because I didn't give it to you. One thing that you have to do though, and I'm going to be honest, everybody at every stage, no matter what stage of life they're in, they have experienced fear in some area, in some point. We all experience fear. None of us is exempt. But the thing is, we don't live there. We don't dwell in fear. We don't just take and embrace fear and just stay there. But fear will come. Fear will come, and fear will try to test you. I've been through it. Fear will come and say, you can't do this, or God didn't call you to do this, or it's not going to happen, or you don't have what it takes for this to happen in your life. But you have to know that that's from the devil. He has peeked into your future. He sees how awesome and magnificent that it is, and he wants to stop you from reaching your destiny, so he will plant a seed of fear. But the sad thing is, so many people embrace fear. Fear comes, sit right beside us, begin to speak in our ear, and we begin to talk back to fear and have a conversation. The next thing you know, you and fear are friends. You are going everywhere together. Every time you look around, fear is with you, afraid to step out, afraid to do what God called you to do. You have got to cast fear out. Fear is not a friend of yours, and you don't have to receive it. God gave me a word to share with his people, and it was titled Overcoming the Fear of Failure and Rejection. I actually shared that a couple of shows ago, but I wanted to share a little bit. I actually put it in the book, and he began to show me how fear grips people, and that how they have a fear of failure. There's so many people that because you have a fear of failure, you decide that you're not going to do anything, or you're not going to step out in that place. This causes them not to move forward to do anything concerning their vision. I don't believe that there's any type of failure in God, but only learning experiences on how to do things differently or better in the future. And that's the way I look at it. I don't look at failure. Anything that I've tried and I know that I've given it my all and it didn't yield those results, or we'll just say it didn't work, I don't call it a failure. I said, okay, that was a learning experience. That's something that I can take away, some things that I'm going to do differently in the future. I've learned some things. I've grown from this right here, but I don't look at it as a failure. I look at it as a stepping stone. I look at it, it's going to take me to my next place. I look at it, I'm like, okay, God has shown me another way, another avenue to make this thing happen. But it's not failure. And that's how you have to look at failure. Don't look at it, as you failed and you didn't make it and things just went totally opposite. Don't look at it that way. Don't be discouraged by it. See, the enemy will use what we call failure to discourage you, to oppress you, to depress you, to make you feel like, okay, you tried it one time and it didn't work. You better not do it again. What are people going to say? They saw you when you stepped out the last time and it didn't work. You know they talked about you then. They're going to talk about you some more. Well, guess what? If you fail or if you succeed, people are going to talk regardless. So let them talk. They can't place you in a place of destiny. They can't take you to your destiny. Only God can take you to your destiny. So let people talk. God is saying, stop using excuses for not walking in his place of destiny. Remember, God has a plan for our life in the beginning, so he already knows every obstacle that we will face. And so many times we're surprised by the obstacles and what we call the setbacks, but God is not surprised at all. It was all in the plan. He knew it was going to happen, but guess what? He knew that you could handle it. So God said, don't get discouraged by the obstacles and the things that come that's not so smooth. On this journey, you're going to go through some periods of time where everything is not going to be smooth sailing in your life. But you still have to know that God has your back. And you're still going to make it to the finish line if you don't faint. Do not faint. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, be not weary in well-doing, for in due season you shall reap if you faint not. It's a sad thing to get to your due season and decide to faint. And God is like, oh my God, they were right there. They were right there at the finish line. I was getting ready to give it to them. They were getting ready to get their prize. That thing that they've been praying for. That thing that they've been waiting for. Their breakthrough. But they decided to throw in the towel a couple of hours too soon. I want us to think about that for just a moment. We could be giving up hours before the promise is revealed. Hours before manifestation comes in our life. Don't faint. Don't faint. You're on the brink of a breakthrough. How do you conquer fear? You conquer fear by doing the thing that the enemy tells you not to do. You conquer fear when you hear God and you trust that he's not going to lead you astray. You trust that he has your best interests at heart. You trust that he loves you unconditionally. You trust that he's your father, so you know that you have nothing to lose. That's how you conquer fear. And you also got to cast it down. Sometimes the enemy will come and he'll plant just crazy things in your thoughts. You have to cast that stuff down like immediately. If you don't cast it down immediately, you'll begin to dwell on it. But that's how you conquer fear. Jesus said, if you can believe, all things are possible to him who believes. All things are possible to him that believes. So you have to know that whatever that thing is that God's planted on the inside of you, God is saying it's not impossible. If it was impossible, I would not have planted it in you. I would not have given it to you. So stop thinking that this thing is too big to happen in your life. It may be too big for you to handle it by yourself, but you're not handling it by yourself. God is saying, I'm with you. I'm with you. He said, I will never leave you. I will never forsake you. So you're not alone in this journey. You're on your way. I'm telling you, you're on your way. All you have to do is make that first step. Make that first step. God is saying, begin to create and watch me do it. Watch me work in your life. Don't give up and don't fret. Wow. This book, it has so many different tools that will take us down the journey to success. We talked about create, and we're going to share, in some future shows, some of the other chapters. But I really wanted to encourage you on today not to sleep on what God has given you. So many times we sleep on our gifts and that thing that we think is so small and so little, and it's the very thing that's going to change our life. God is saying don't sleep on it, but begin to work it. Begin to walk this thing out. Begin to search it out and be all that He's created you to be. Again, thank you so much for watching the Kingdom Advancers show. Don't forget to pick up the book. It's called The Kingdom Advancers Guide to Success. Is available on Amazon in paperback, also as an ebook copy. God bless you. If you have any questions about the Kingdom Advancers show, you can reach us at kingdomadvancers19@gmail.com. Again, that's kingdomadvancers19@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on the Kingdom Advancers show.